Okay, welcome back everybody to another episode of the Consistency Podcast. I'm your host Andre Robinson. I'm here with my co-host Frank, and we have a special guest today who's going to be talking to us about the dangers of gambling. So Frank, you want to
So let,
introduce our introduce the guest?
yeah. Let me introduce our guest. So first of all, welcome Mr. Paul Jackson the second. I call him PJ2, and we met in Chi-Town. Now, knowing him, he probably had been there three or four or five times, but when I met him there, it was my first time being there, and he had his own fan club and everything. So I was just trying to, I was just trying to fit in, as an old man. It was actually it's kind of interesting because I met both you and Dre in a similar way. How I met Dre was at a community meeting. We were trying to do something in was it Mechanicsville? I think it was the Mechanicsville area, Dre. And we had some meetings there, and then you and uh, Paul, we met at I guess you could say, a political training
Yeah, with Lee.
opportunity. Yeah. So without further ado, I just want to give you an opportunity, man, to share a little bit about yourself. Tell our audience what it is that you do, what part of the world you live in, and this tell us what you need the people to know.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, let's dive into it. Appreciate y'all, Dre, Mr. Frank. My name is Paul Jackson II. Inside the classroom, go by Mr. Jackson, um, which is insane. It's been 6 years teaching now in Miami, Florida. I've been in both Miami primarily. I did some intervention work and substituting in Broward County, and to start the year, now I'm back in Miami. Ironically, right in my own neighborhood, in my backyard, at Miami Carroll City. But grew up here in Miami, Florida. I was a student athlete my whole life. Always played basketball. I thought I was going to be Division 1 with basketball, as I was recruited for that. I guess some great gyms to put through. I was recruited by first offer was Georgia Southern. Um, we had some interest with the recruitment with like Wichita State. Let's see who else. Georgia. Damn, it's a lot of schools. Villanova. I thought I was gonna be able to try to like walk on with them, and of course they won 2 national championships. Uh, let's see who else.
What position did you play?
I was a swing, so I'm 6'4", so I'm a 2, 3, but really I started off playing the one, so I was inspired by like John Wall and Brandon Knight, different guys here in Miami and South Florida. You got Kenny Boynton, sorry. Um, Play ironically a big one when Austin Rivers was the number 1 player in high school
Hmm.
through the City of Palms tournament in Orlando. Austin was like averaging like 40, 38, like something crazy,
That boy was a problem in
and
high school.
hey, he played against Dr. Crop and we held him down to 15 points. We beat them.
Okay.
He was going crazy on Twitter, like I'm gonna see y'all again type thing.
Mm.
So this is my freshman year, So we got like coaches from Kansas and all of them coming through the gym and stuff. Like we was a number 4 ranked team in the nation on ESPN.
Okay.
Um, Played against also Tim Hardaway Jr. He was a top player for Dr. Phillips. Uh, let's see. We got some other good ones. During my AAU circuit, I actually had a chance to play against Bam before he became 83.
That's legendary now.
Yeah, yeah, crazy. Um, Let's
The more
see.
you played against the Mortal Bam, right? Before you
Yeah,
became the
yeah,
Mortal.
yeah, yeah, yeah. When he was
Mortal.
raw mortar, yeah, yeah, going to Kentucky and stuff. But I also played football in college, so I had a walk-on journey career. I walked on at this school, no longer around, but it's called Notre Dame College in South Euclid, Ohio. So I spent my first semester there. Well, I was thankful because I was playing football a little bit my last couple of years. Well, let me really put it together so we get some really good grasp. So high school, as I mentioned, crop. I started there my freshman and sophomore year. So I was there 2011, 2012. 2012, I actually was the person who got to witness like every basically event with Trayvon Martin. So Trayvon Martin was at my school.
Mm,
I got to see him. I was actually ironically in Orlando the same night he was killed, and I didn't know it at the time, but before my parents and I we drove home from Miami after this basketball showcase, we saw the actual murder scene, the crime scene of it in the backyard of Sanford, but we didn't know it was going to be what it was. But that helped me become just a leader, somebody really being sparked, and always was just the academic person, but yeah, just learned how to utilize my voice a lot more. Um, I transferred over to Miami Carroll City Junior High School. So Rick Ross went there. You had the NFL players of the Moss brothers went there. I believe Flo Rida by chance. Um, Denzel Curry. I grew up with Denzel Curry. For those who know about music, he literally houses right behind mine. It's a
that's
backyard.
right.
We also have famous Instagram guy, Dat Boy Funny, who's on YouTube, well, not YouTube, IG.
Mm,
He went to my school as well. Um,
okay. Y'all had the talent down there.
yeah, no, that's how it is in Miami, man.
Hmm.
A lot of talent, but not people really bring voices out there. So I look at myself to be somebody like that, to be able to do that, just knowing like what's real lanes are out there than people who actually can connect people to somebody else. But
Right.
know how we all now with technology advance have our own social media platforms and mediums to really, talk to our networks. I think that's just the angle where things are, and also have the maturity to really, see things for what it's supposed to be, and also know this spiritual realm that we also are living in to be conscious of that as well. But from there, my junior year, I left. Where
So Paul, let me
yeah, 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 go ahead.
stick a pin there. So let me ask you this:
Hmm.
how what how did you pivot? So you were an athlete
Hmm.
for so many years, and then you became an educator. How did that pivot happen? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been like the person to help tutor, teach, especially my teammates and stuff. But even when I was on campus, I applied for different tutoring jobs. When I played football, like I had everybody pay me to do their math homework. Actually, they would pay me for a whole. No, literally, I paid a whole semester of school just from doing everybody's work. Um, like I'm hustling, like that's how it is down here in Miami, where you just learn how to get going. So that'll lead into what we were talking about earlier with our topic with gambling. Um, so that was the big one. Like I've always just been really good at just breaking down things that are complex and making it relatable. Hence the name math relations. So I was like, I could just make different analogies or different comparisons that people could relate to and show them how it relates to something that's just more so school like, or just adopting to the real world or how we perspective look at it when it say just understanding the system. Um, so that was just my niche, my angle. I'm thankful my parents always had us going to your affluent or predominant schools. So me being in white spaces isn't, it doesn't make me uncomfortable. Me being in black spaces, I've learned to now a little bit be more comfortable and seeing it from different lens of empathy, and then also just two to just be straight up where we just don't respect ourselves sometimes,
Hmm.
and we get competent with just different positions and power influence and how things run where I'm understanding the most important things of how everything run is a system. You got to really orchestrate and nurture a system so people could be able to buy in and say, hey, if I'm just here for 3 years and I'm trying to go XYZ, like let's put ourselves in a disciplined system so you could extract what you need to go where you need to go. Um, Rather than, I guess, we could look at it as like a crab in a barrel mentality, or just not having our own self in order, or maybe just a structured guideline to be focused on whatever purpose we're supposed to serve and have. So we could get convoluted with all these other energies and emotions that come through. So I'm thankful to be able to like really understand that being in education and coming down to Miami-Dade County to see that. So specifically for me to start teaching when I was at the University of Wisconsin, I came through Teach for America. I was an early admin. And I was like, look, I'll go ahead and do this if I'm able to come back home, because I'm just like, man, I've been able to see the world from school. Like football was able to get me somewhere, but I didn't have a scholarship. I walked on. I'm thankful I played with some incredible people in my years at University of Wisconsin, where we wanted to Orange Bowl against the University of Miami, won Pinstripe Bowl, lost in the Rose Bowl to Oregon the following year. But I played with some really dogs, like Jonathan Taylor with the Colts, Zach Bond, Eagles, Andrew Van Ginkel played with the Dolphins, now with the Vikings. Alec Engel, a Pro Bowler playing football, and there's some also really good offensive linemen as well. Um, and there's some guys who just was in the league for a little bit, but like it opened my mind a lot. Even I guess trying to get myself even understanding business too, where I could I can cage myself and underestimate myself to think about somebody might be a little bit more talented or strong, or I'm underestimating my own capabilities, which even tying to gambling too that I'll talk about, where it's just like thinking I might need something else or some type of mentor, or somebody to really break things down for me, when it's like, shoot, I'm able to do this out the mud, or just my own God-given gifts and talents and stuff that I have. And it's just like the type of best friend that you looking for or other people is like, I'm him, but I'm not treating myself that way and seeing things that way, where I had to unlearn a lot of that. Maybe that's just also too just turning 30, where it's just like you ain't got to go please, and you don't got to be searching for all of these outside things. You've been able to acquire and see a lot, experience a lot, and a lot of give it. God has given me a lot of opportunities that things that I said I wanted in life, where He kept His promise for that, and I just needed to embody it a lot more.
So
Um,
Paul, so
yeah,
Paul,
go
and I'm gonna let Jay Drake chime in. So I don't want our listeners to miss it. If I heard you correctly,
ahead.
initially you thought that you were going the basketball route, but
Yeah, that was my first love.
you actually ended up playing football at Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Did I hear you
yeah,
correctly? So
yeah,
you were a two
yeah,
sport guy. Now, so
yeah.
what position were you playing at Wisconsin when you were playing with these notable players that you mentioned?
Yeah, initially, I started off as wide receiver. That was my thing. I always been really good with hands. I swapped over because I'm good at it on muscle and weight. So I was like 225, 235, and then I played over to play outside linebacker where I was 245, and it was a whole different like beast and animal. Like
Yeah.
the Big Ten, they really know how to put the fundamentals in front of you, but just when it comes down to a system and stuff being in nice, neat, and ordered, and having resources where it's just really catered to you. I learned that at Wisconsin, so I got frustrated where like when I came back home to Miami, I'm just seeing things a lot different. Because I'm like, damn, I know what structure looks like. I also know what it looks like. I also know what support looks like. Um, I know what it's like to go above and beyond, but you got people who are able to like add to you rather than I see you serving this plate. Let me keep handing you plates. Where that's the part where I burned myself out with stuff, or I got frustrated with, or I just didn't have the best boundaries with. And I'm just like, yeah. Let me just do it. I'm just saying yes to everything, and then I'm not knowing where my own direction is going. But yeah, initially basketball guy and played football, so receiver and outside linebacker was my position.
Okay.
Well, let me just ask this one last question, because
Yeah,
our listeners uh, are thinking the obvious. Clearly, you're talented. Just
yeah.
having the opportunity to play with some of the names that you dropped. So, did you get injured? What? Because it sounded like you were hoping to become a professional athlete. So, what what happened or didn't happen? I'm sure that's what everybody's wondering.
Yeah, to be all right. So to be real, I was cheap, man. I didn't invest into like trainers. I didn't invest truly into like the circles where like I'm in there, but I didn't like I didn't really see myself to say like, oh, I could be a professional athlete. Even though I'm with these guys and I'm realizing I'm like, oh, they're not as strong as I think. But I'm like, no, bro, you are strong. Like that's why you are also here too. You are fast. That's why you're here too. Like I would play this like kind of like submissive standpoint of like, all right, I'm here. Maybe I gotta take a step back. Well, that's when people always say like the game is 90% mental. Where I didn't have a coach or a mentor really in that space for me. That's something I think I should have invested in my own or really talked to my parents about. Like, hey, like I want to take this to the next level with. I kind of just would be in the spaces and observe and then mimic, some of the routines or trainings that I saw other people would do, and I just do it myself. But I didn't invest. That's why I say I didn't invest. That's why I kind of take the stuff with school a lot more serious. So I'm like, no, you got to invest into the training. Like you can be there with some raw talent stuff, but it's different when it's like this part structured. You got somebody to say, hey, no, we're gonna keep training you on this because this is where you're good at, rather than you just playing and you don't even know, or you got coaches that's doing whatever level of coaching that they know, but there's just levels to it. So I'll say that. Um, Also, too, I was different. Like when I got to Wisconsin, I transferred in. I was an RA. I was part of student government. I did independent research. I had two jobs. Um, I always took like 18 course credit hours. Um, I always kept myself busy because I was like, I knew these aren't opportunities I want to get again. Like, of course, granted, I love it. I'm thankful football is able to get me here, but I'm a nerd at heart. So I'm doing everything that other people kind of like what we are today, where we kind of take stuff for granted with the perspective of how we look at things. So I just had a different edge on me. So, like, when I had graduated high school, I came back home and I did a gap year in 2014 to 2015 year, and I was working at Macy's, and that's what really like kind of set it off for me. Where I'm like, all right, I don't, I'm like, I'm here, but there's something I need to learn from this because I'm like, I should be my peers already in college, but I didn't know what I wanted to do in college. Um, I'm interested in a lot of things. It's like I'm just smart and I got the energy to drive. I know how to talk to people and whatnot. It was just natural talent and stuff. So I had the political interests. So I interned with the Congressional Black Caucus in Washington D.C. I'm thankful, bless God, to be able to have been in the same hallways and met somebody like John Lewis, Elijah Cummings, these different electors and representatives who no longer here and passed. Um, Even when I was there too, I know that's when we had the reparations on the line with a conversation there. So I was on Capitol Hill when that stuff was going on. Uh, yeah, a lot of good timings and things I was able to witness and experience. On the educational standpoint too, there's these two gentlemen, Dr. Orlando Jackson and I believe it's Elijah Moore through Ohio State. They have the International Colloquium on Black Males in Education. So I was able to go to this colloquium. I was able to present research in Ireland. So they took scholars and they were intentional about us to see the world while we get to present our findings and research. And just listening to other people who are pursuing their PhDs or graduate levels or like a master's programs and learn like the philosophy, sociology aspects of, just black relationships, black political science. It opened doors for me where I'm just like, man, they're talking about normal things, but there's just vocabulary to it now that I never really heard, or this is put in the stance of now there's like coin terminology for things that we knew just day to day stuff, but didn't know how to call out. Especially just as men, where we don't have the same structure, routine, or support like how let's say in our community what like black women do with each other.
Right.
So it's like, okay, how do we build our own similar like how you got like black girl magic, but just doing it for boys? How do you lead boys to become men and embrace black? What is it?
Excellence.
What is it called? Like, yeah, black excellence, but just your genius when it's like undisrupted.
Mm,
Because we all know it, how easy it is for us to just be ignorant or want to play, keen down, like put ourselves at this level where let me be the performance type rather than
yeah.
like not me actually tell you what it is for me to like articulate things or
What
share
year were
my
you
intellect.
when you realized all of that? Like, what year were you when you realized that you hadn't invested as much as you could have, like in school?
No, school I took advantage. I took advantage of it. The athletic standpoints. I didn't, but
Well, yeah, like
uh,
what year or at what point did you realize that you didn't invest as much as you could have, or as the other people had, to where you were like, okay, that's probably not gonna work out for me because I didn't do these steps. Like, at what point, or was there a time where it like clicked for you?
um, I was ignoring it. I'll say when I was in college. So this was what 2018, 2019 when I graduated.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I did do a XFL tryout while I was like teaching, but even for that, I didn't like I didn't train for like the 40 and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say maybe 2022. When I look back and everybody be like, "Oh, I ain't make it to the NFL." I'm like, it's not that easy.
Right. Yeah.
Like everybody get a chance to go, but as I do look back, I'm like the opportunities are definitely there. Um, and then when you understand, like we're just people, and it comes down to your network. It comes down to what is it like to really put your best foot forward when it's like, no, you don't know who's watching you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll admit, I did get lax with certain things. Like I didn't have that same burning drive. So like even let's say with athletics, I wasn't surrounding myself to always be with like my teammates to really just focus in on this one particular skill. Like I stretch myself to be all over the place, which I'm happy for. But at the same time, I'll say like the big thing is like you always want to make sure you're still able to perform before you get to the other end of like coaching, because it's like, all right, now I'm really done. Rather it's like, nah, I still feel like I got stuff that I can give and do, but
Right.
rather than win. So I say those realizations really hit for me. I say these past like year and a half when I kind of just went through like a whole midlife crisis. But, but
Uh,
yeah, this past year and a half is
I
say
had a
this that stuff.
similar things in school, because I realized I wasn't getting like internships as other people in my same major were doing, and so then that's when
Okay.
I realized later on I was like, okay, yeah, there was other things that I could have been doing. I was similar to you. I had two jobs and trying to do a whole bunch of things around campus. So that's just
Mm-hmm.
information that you don't know until you get into the college life,
Yeah.
and nobody really prepares, especially young black men, for that, because yeah, we really don't have too many role models prior to that. So but that's a great story about your
No, I appreciate it.
college career. So
Yeah.
I know you were gonna talk to us a little bit about gambling. So you
Yeah.
wanna get, or did you want to share the screen for that, or do you want to talk,
Yeah, no,
introduce it
I'll get
first?
to it. I'll
Okay.
get to it. Yeah, but the gambling piece, man. Oh my god! Like I've always been. My mom always said I've always been lucky. Like I remember my high school graduation. I did a carnival cruise, not a carnival, Royal Caribbean cruise with my brother who also graduated, and we did like a bingo. I won bingo twice. I won the bingo that had the jackpot where I got like 4,000, and I'll never forget it.
That hooked you.
I'll never think about it. High school, we used to be getting out $4,000. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, nah,
and
that's
they giving
crazy.
it to me cash,
Mm.
man. But like before it happened, like I had this, I don't know, vision, epiphany, or I could, or maybe it's man, I don't know really what to coin it, but I saw what was about to happen, and I guess that's always my thing too with numbers. I'm a math guy, so like I just really, I'm really good with probability, with prediction, and just crunching things or just finding loops that other people are doing. I'm like, nah, let's go this way instead. So I was good there. But when it really started for me, Hard Rock here in Florida, they had the Hard Rock bet at the Seminole Casino, but they had their own app for it. I remember they opened, and then they went through this like court case where it was closed. But I was using another gambling platform too, but Hard Rock Bet was the one I put all my money.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see. Uh, I
So
remember.
when
I
you
think.
like, let me ask you this,
Go ahead.
Paul. Well, you like a lot of people because actually, Dre and I we sort of backed into this show. We've been talking about having a show on this topic for a minute because,
Yeah.
for an example, sports gambling is huge right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the kind of gambling that became an issue for you? Was it the slot machine stuff that kind of got
Nah,
you kicked off,
sports.
or was it sports?
Nah,
Sports
So,
sports.
betting.
Always been
okay,
sports. Always been
okay,
sports. Yeah, the sports has been a thing. Basketball, football, baseball, soccer, tennis. Um, yeah, that's it. But like for me, like what I've learned, like most people, let's say when betting, they'll do a parlay,
Mm.
and I'll see people that'll do a parlay where they like, I need 7 legs, 12 legs, all of this crazy stuff. So I'm like, you need the Heat to win, the Lakers to lose by 15, the Clippers to do this. You want LeBron to score 18 points with 10 rebounds. I'm like, you need all of this stuff. And then I'll look at, okay, I'm like, what are you risking? And people can be cheap. Like I'm trying to turn $5 to 3,000 type stuff, and they doing it like every day. And I'm like, that made no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. They got some people who put $100 in and they risking for this much. I'm like, no, I'm just gonna do one bet, but I'm doing it live. I'm doing it as I see it. I don't even be watching the game. I'm doing it as I see it. I'm looking at the stats. I'm seeing like, okay, for example, let's go to Christmas game with the Timberwolves and the Nuggets when Jokic went crazy
Mm-hmm.
in that overtime. But let's say Denver just hit two threes. I'm like, okay, I'm betting on. I'm gonna look at what that next shot is gonna be. If that next shot is gonna be another three, Hard Rock has the probability to say is the next basket gonna be a 2 pointer or a 3 pointer.
Wow.
I will go like all in on the next shot to be a two,
Mm-hmm.
and just like that, as quick as I'm talking to y'all in 10 seconds, if I put 800 down and it's minus 180, I just got 16 or 1550 like that.
Mm.
I would do that. I would do that. I would. I was betting in school.
Mm.
I'm betting on my way to school. I'm using my paycheck, and I'm like, damn, I just made my paycheck on my way to school.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing about live. So my thing was, it's happening literally right now. 6:33. Next shot. What is it gonna be? 2 pointer. I'm greedy. I go all in. Like
Mm.
that was my thing. I just put my whole thing on there. Um, and I'll see how quickly it hit. Or let's say if I lose 250, then fuck it. I'm putting 500 down. I'm going to get it this way. I'm like, and it just kept coming. Like
Mm.
I started just to see so much money so fast, and I'm like, yo, I'm not working for this. Like I was tutoring, I was working hard. Where I'm like, all right, cool. I'm charging people 100 for this and that, and I'm like, all right, I'm liking this. I don't know any other thing where I could bill somebody and my value that I'm being perceived. I'm getting paid about an hour for this session. I'm like $100, cool,
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, well, shit, I can put $100 bet down, and I get 100
Flip it.
back. and it's still 6:30.
Yeah, I see why
I
that's
was in it.
attractive. That's an
I was in
attractive
it,
outcome for sure. I didn't even
man.
realize live betting was like that for real. I've heard of it, but I never really knew it was like that instantaneous. So that's kind of crazy. I've been all I hear is
Yes.
about people doing the parlays and stuff. So
See, this is
it's a
where I
lot
like.
more.
I'll come in and I'm teaching because when I was in it, I'm like, man, I'm having these different like visions, and I'm gonna share it too. I'm having these different visions where I'm like, I don't know if this is something from God or is this something from the devil. Where I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing something about how I could go up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm about to start just like how people do subscriptions with Netflix, monthly subscription. I'm like, bro, just imagine this, because I'm gonna show y'all where things really kick going. And actually, let me do it now. So I'm gonna share where things really got going. Uh, and let me. So you see that this is live. Like this is what I be telling people. I'm like, I see people on internet and stuff, and I'm like, no, bro. Like I saw some people talk about stuff, but I was like, if they can't do this, them niggas lying. Are they scamming? I'm like, I was doing this. Like, here's one. So where things really got to play. Like, hold on, let me see. This is going by points. Let me go by the what? Let me see. Best. Bonus best. All right. All right, yeah, let me go here. So I don't know if y'all can really see it like that. I wanted to pull up the other way, but
Oh no, I'm yeah, it's
yeah,
yeah, you good. I was just stretching it out so people on the stream could see.
got you.
Mm.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna show y'all this. This day was crazy. Literally, the
It's one
location where I'm
day.
at now.
Oh man, it was going crazy. Oh man.
So this is what I was doing. Like the true backstory of it all. Um, I was in a okay. So not to put it on her, but this is what my mindset was. Um, I started teaching. I'm at home. I'm like, cool. Like, get on from college and understanding stuff. I'm investing my money. Um, and I'm like, I'm gonna save up to go ahead and buy me a property. And I'm like, yo, the best thing to do is to get me a multifamily.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm investing there. I was doing stuff in the stock market where I did really well. Even let's say for this one, like when the pandemic happened, and this is my first year teaching when we went on online. I had a lot of shares at the time, and I was like, wait, people gonna have to start using Zoom to teach. At the time, Zoom was like, I want to say it was like $20 per share.
Mm-hmm.
I had I had brought like 58 worth, I want to say, and Zoom went all the way up to $250, and I think another point it went to like $300 per share.
Okay.
I made like 7,000 like profit,
Mm-hmm.
profit from the profit. So I remember I was saving up. I'm investing myself, save my money, and I'm ready to go ahead and buy me. Like, well, at least there's this one particular property I was interested in, but my mom was discouraged by it, and I'm just like, and there's my dad. He's like, don't talk about money stuff with your mom. She go like put that fear aspect in
Mm-hmm.
you. But got discouraged from that. I wanted to pursue some other things, but I was like, you know what? I'm close because I was also putting money into crypto, and I was like, you know what? Let me take this money out here, and I ended up purchasing me a Bitcoin. So I caught me a bit. I brought me a Bitcoin at like 40,000,
Okay.
and people know where Bitcoin eventually went. That thing went up to 100 and like what I think 50 or 40,
Mm-hmm.
25, something like that. But when that FTX stuff happened, and I brought my like cold wallet, but I never moved it off of this particular platform that I have. I can pull that up too.
So
It's called.
why you doing that, Paul? I wanted to ask you a
Yeah,
question
yeah.
because
Go ahead.
do you think that as a competitive person, and in many ways it's good that you started the conversation talking about the fact that you were a two-way athlete. So
Hmm.
clearly, as a two-way athlete, you like to compete.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
think that that could explain how and why
Oh, for sure.
we've had some issues of late with athletes, people who, for all intents and purposes, didn't need the money, but just this need to compete
Pete.
and continue to compete and win fueled some athletes to really put their career in jeopardy because
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you need
you know
something.
some noted players were betting on their own sport, which I think, if I understand the rules right, if you play one particular sport, then you can't do any betting in that sport because you're in that sport.
Hmm.
So, do you feel like the fact that you were a competitive athlete kind of lent itself to this this desire to get involved in gambling on the level that you did?
Oh yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. That was definitely the like something because I was like I need when you get that dopamine where it's like I want to share talk I want to like I need to express this energy out and yeah so it's like I need to express this energy out and I'm like and that's a pro and con with that because like I'm used to the brotherhood that I got like say being in Wisconsin on a team with guys where it's like you share good news and like genuinely people are uplifting you, supporting you. Rather you come back home and it's like you share good news and people got their hand out and all of a sudden I got this emergency and shit. Where that affected me because I also got I took that on where I'm like, oh, I feel like a superhero. Like I'm saving the day, so I'm getting this type of thing. And even as I mentioned, like the relationship standpoint, like I'm getting out of a relationship. I'm like, damn, there's different things that I like people like and know me of that I just do, just naturally for who I am. But like any relationship, you get comfortable with that, or if you don't have that in the arena of like what my needs and wants are, if you're not communicating what those needs and wants are, like things just flatline. So I'm feeling like I'm not being seen the way I need to be, or how I want to be supported, or at least I'm doing efforts, and if it's nothing being reciprocated, at least it's like I'm like, all right, thank you for this. Like you feel accepted or supported or whatnot. So I got attached to that. Like I attached that hard to my identity. Um, so especially with the money wise, is I'll show you like I was gambling and I that was the part where I was beating myself up about because I wasn't even spending the money on myself. Like I literally was just winning for the sake of winning. So that's what the dopamine part was. And I'm like, I wanted to also use this stuff for other things, but my parents was like, they ain't really want to hear it. So I'm like, damn, like I'm doing it. I'm sorry, I can't just walk away from a bag that I know I got control of. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
not like I gotta go work here or I'm doing sales or I'm doing insurance with sales, and I'm like, hey, I can make these different deals, but this is me pocketing the money where people just like, yeah, I just got to this insurance, and people learn about the road of how insurance goes. Where I'm like, I mean, that's a way, but I'm like, I don't know. For me, I was just like, I ain't that ain't my lane.
All right.
So I'm looking at things from ethics, and I'm like, well, shit, I'm putting my own money at risk, and I'm able to get.
Hmm.
Yeah, why not? I don't gotta. I ain't selling no drugs. I ain't doing this. Like I'm literally my thought process, my decision. I'm saying this is gonna happen out of a 50-50 chance, and I'm winning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm winning. So it was hard. I'm like, I don't know anything else is like this. I'm doing this literally from my phone.
Right.
I'm doing this when I'm comfortable. I'm doing this as I wake up. I'm like, shoot, $800 a year. I'm so serious. This is
You
literally
still laying in bed doing it, huh?
yes. Going to sleep, waking up, it's on my phone. That's what I'm saying. When I show you like you will see the timestamps,
Mm.
and you will see them, and it's like just like how we were talking before, and it was 6:30, 6:44. You will see a whole like just the amount of volume that was just there. It was just crazy. I'm touching numbers where I'm like, I know these are what businesses are doing.
Right.
And granted, we teachers, bro, I'm $50,000 income.
Mm.
But I was able to flip that so much where the deposits was like 175,000.
Mm.
I'm flip like I'm
Yeah.
winning. I'm
Yeah. No,
winning.
that's what you consider winning for sure. So, at what point did you realize that it was becoming a problem?
Oh man, for sure. Like me denying that I was an addict because I'm stuck on the like winning aspect. But also me not spending the money on myself for things that I need. Like I should have been paid off my damn student loans. That was a goal of mine that I had. I wrote it down, but I just wasn't disciplined there. Um, I'm also like having this feeling where I feel like I'm supposed to be giving this money away to other people because of whatever their problems and parties are, and I'm just like,
And let me stop you there because I'm really glad that you're being so open about this
oh
because
yeah,
a lot of people who don't gamble, you know, they're just rolling their eyes and thinking, and like Dre and I often say on our show, everybody has their issue.
yeah,
So one person might be doing this, and and I've had my own issue. You know, the biggest issue beyond gambling is around food, which we
yeah,
need to have a show just on that. So everybody has their issue. So the one thing that you said that a lot of people don't understand, because I heard a significant financial educator, her name is escaping me at the moment. Hopefully it'll come back to me. But she shared that she was making not, just in her businesses, she was making six figures a month and she couldn't
hmm,
account for it because of something you said. She became the superhero because people knew that she was getting money. And of course, we hear athletes and entertainers talk about this kind of thing all the time. Well, some of us would say that's what got MC Hammer in trouble, right? He
hmm,
had a whole block as an entourage, basically. So, so if a basic of finances, as a financial coach, if your outgo is greater than your income, you're losing.
yeah,
But the challenge is that usually when it's coming in fast and furiously in the fashion that you're talking about, you're not really keeping up per se. You know it's coming in, and you feel confident you can keep it coming in, and so that's one thing. But I've got a question for you because I knew a guy. Well, actually, I didn't know him. I knew the person that he ended up marrying. He was a mathematician, or is a
hmm,
mathematician. I lost track of him, so hopefully he's still on Earth with us. Christian guy, and his wife shared with me that he had gotten so crazy with it as a mathematician that he could figure out using probabilities what the
hmm.
lottery number would be.
Oh yeah, he different.
But because of his convictions, he didn't play.
Yeah.
So what? So first, I have to ask you: when you talk about probabilities, were we talking about probability, an understanding of probability on that level, or sort of coming close to that level? I mean, what are we talking
Well, he different. I'm gonna show you what my probability is because I'm gonna be dead serious. I'm super transparent with you about this. Um, and then they're different, but here's like everybody see this on the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and it show 12:21. So this this midnight. Like I put like the way how I was looking at myself, I was like, okay, cool. I got my savings right, and I'm like, all right, any investment especially that I was used to. I'm like, okay, if I put something in the bank, I know it's gonna accumulate this much. I might get 200 by the end of the damn year. So I'm like, what if I? Yeah, it's Wednesday right now. I'm like, what if I got 3,000 in my account? But I could grow it to 3,500.
Mm.
What if I grow it to 3,700? So I started doing that. So my probability was, I'm like, I'll take the high risk, low reward stuff where I could take a bet that might say minus 3,000 because it's most likely going to hit. But it's like, shit, I got 3,000. You telling me in 10 seconds I'm about to give me $100? And really, like the mental was about was, I'm not doing anything, but I'm about to get a free $100 because I do have $3,000 to spare.
Mm.
And if
So if I wait a minute now. So if I listen to you closely, because I'm sure I'm not. My math is pretty good. Not
yeah,
maybe not in the level of you and Dre's, but it sounds like where the word addiction comes in is that you had gotten into it to a certain point where you had gotten away from the rationality of the math because as a math is a very precise science. So
correct.
it sounds like it got to a point, and that's what addiction does. Of course, addiction gets us to the point where we're beyond the rational point of a thing, whatever that thing is. Like one guy might, let's take food addiction, which is would be my leaning. I remember there was a time where, you know, at night, because I'm one of those night crawlers, you start off with two donuts, and then you go from two donuts to 12 donuts, and then and so technically two was too much to begin with late at night, and then
Mm-hmm.
you say to yourself, well, hey, I'm still young or whatever
Yeah,
justification you make, and so you go from 2 to 12, and then you go from 2 to 12 every other night or every few nights. The next thing you
correct.
know, you got to have three or four every night.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it goes from I think that what makes something addiction is once we cross over from rationality to
Yeah.
irrational. That's a big piece of it.
It is, but and here's where my competitiveness, my own determination, and where I'm just like, but here's evidence aspect because it's a
Mhm.
challenge. I like a challenge. If you tell me something I'm not gonna do, I'm gonna find a way and I'm gonna do it. Um, even when if I stop for a while, I'm constantly just thinking about ways of how to get over it. So like even with your breakdown there, right? This is some math shown right here, and I'm gonna find even a better one. But here's a case where like you'll see on the bottom, and I'm gonna find some other ones that are better. But this was something just basic. Like I saw something where I'm like, you know what? Let me just test this out. Where I'm only getting $5 back. So my balance is 3,790. You know, I do something where I bet and I get like $5 back. So here it is, 3,095.11 cents.
Mhm.
And then I did something that was just crazy.
I see that
I
next
went
one.
all, I went, yep, I went all in again, and I lost it.
Mm.
It don't stop. I'm gonna show you another one that's even more crazy. I lost 3,000. I lost 4,000 right here. But look at the very next bet, or the next thing I withdraw out. 4 grand. I start going back up with it. I'm like, hold on, I got to gain. So now I'm chasing my losses. I got to get that basically 4,000 back.
Hold on. So is
So I go.
this is just
It's
money
one.
that you put in after you lost the 3,000?
Yeah, this is what I had saved. I think honestly, what I remember, I'll be real. I remember I had took out a loan because I was like, I'm about to go full fledged entrepreneur, which I was supposed to do
Oh
already.
yeah, yeah.
But I was like, you know what? gambling is gonna be my vehicle of how I'm able to, because yeah, I'm so serious
Mm.
because
So let
I
me
was
help
already
you out.
confident.
That voice was the devil. Okay, let's go ahead and
Oh yeah,
clarify.
yeah, yeah.
You
It
tried to
definitely,
figure out
was.
which voice.
It definitely was. It definitely was because I was already comfortable knowing like, okay, I can make $100 easy. I'm like, we do the basic math with teaching, we getting paid. You can say somewhere around 150, 160 a day. So I'm like, I can easily make me $100.
Mm.
Like that ain't nothing. But I'm like, I want more. I'm winning a lot, so I'm like, shit. Let me might as well bet big. So I took out. I think I had 7,000. I put in this one account. And I'm like, I gotta gain my stuff back. Like I'm going hard. I'm
Mm.
getting my stuff back. The numbers is growing, 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 growing. Losing some, winning some, getting it back. Just keeping it up.
Mm.
Loss, come back, 5. Then I'm gonna start getting it up to 7.
Hold on. So was this a when you get the 5? Was that another deposit? Because it looked like you would.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I'm
Cause I
seeing
had
where the
I
where
had
the
a whole
problem was coming
yes,
from.
bro. Yeah, this was a crazy day.
Mm.
So I think I had 15. I had got accepted, approved. Boom, I got the loan 15. Where I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna be able to have what I need to do for rent. But as I start, just navigating and think what I want to do, really map out my business plan and stuff. I'm like, as I get that together, I'm like, I know this right here, I can be able to move how I want. But I'm using my whole thing.
Mm.
And then I got upset myself because I'm like, damn, I got greedy where I'm like, I should have just set a point and say, let me just get $200 and I can just start moving on. But I'm using my whole account and I got access to my whole account. So
Mm-hmm.
I panic and I use my whole thing. And then I I was like, shoot, I just wasted half. I'm like, I gotta get it back. When I tell you this in this span over
Wait a
this,
minute. So for those people who are not following closely, this is important.
yeah,
Which proves that it had become an addiction. So
and
you
this
had
is
gotten a loan, and this loan was supposed to cover some of your basic necessities and to help launch your business.
yep.
But because you were in your gambling fervor and craziness, you took that money and gambled it for the most part.
D part.
You said all of you put it all down. Mm. That's nah. That's a lot, man. I'm looking at
Bro,
these
this
numbers.
is
I'm like,
bro, this is a span of 24 hours.
24 hours? Nah.
Bro, this thing.
You is going. I'm looking at these numbers like, yo.
Yes, bro. So look, you like look at this. Like it's
I'm
crazy to
looking.
just look at, dog. Like this is dog 7:50. Boom, a 5. This is 11:36 a.m. and right here 11:38. I just went up $600. 2 minutes. So I'm calculating stuff like that. Like I'm just knowing how to just boom, 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 like just move and navigate stuff. Here, I'm almost at 9 now. That was from
Mm.
11:38. It's 11:51. 9. It's 11:56 now. I'm at 9,000. Got me. I got with another set. Got my 2. I remember I had took out 9 because I wanted to get back to what I had lost. So I
Mm.
had got that back. Like I was that confident. I lost 7,000 and then I ended up earning 9,000 from that where I got my base and an extra 2,000 to play with.
Mm.
Kept it going.
So
Kept it going.
let me say this, and
Yeah.
I'm really appreciative of you sharing on the level that you're sharing, and I give all the praise to Yahweh because, like I
Yeah.
said, Dre and I have been flirting with this show for a minute, but I don't think we could have done the show any bigger justice than to have someone who was actually in the thick of it because the two of us were just going to be talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
but you were about it. So it
Yeah,
just adds, now it adds a lot of credibility to anything we might say on this topic in the future. But I want to say this because I read a stat in a book um, called, I think the title of the book was Irrational Exuberance. I think that was the title of the book. And there's a book that came out probably, shucks, 15 years ago. And there was a stat in that book that was riveting. It said that more more funds are spent on gambling in the
mhm,
United States, and this is over 15 years ago. This stat: more funds are spent on gambling alone than on eating out, theme parks, music, and it was one other thing. So imagine all the funds that go into all those areas. And this was over 15 years ago, before they really opened up the sports gambling on a level that we see it today.
yeah,
Because I have teenagers that I encounter all the time, and this is why you coming on and sharing as you know a young big brother, uncle to some of these cats to help them
no,
understand that this is this is this is real, and it'll get real very quickly. And
yeah,
see, the math the math is not designed to be clean with these gambling applications. The algorithms are set to be totally against the novice. And so here you are with some prowess as a math person. The average person is not rocking with math like that.
no, no, no,
And
no.
so here they are,
Or
They
just
going off
just
vibes.
trying. Right, right. They're just trying. And so it's now the stock market. Some people who are against the stock market, they will. Some people who get money, they will they will put the stock market in the gambling category, but it's not the
mhm,
same. It's a calculated risk. And when you talked about, I think Zoom and how you made 7Gs on Zoom, well,
mhm,
when when you're putting money down on a company, there's research that you do on that company, and you do research on the people who are running the company. So it's just not straight. It's not straight gambling. It's a different. Now it's straight gambling if you don't do your homework about the
Right.
company.
yeah,
I was like,
But if
there's
you do
some
your
caveats to that.
right, right. But if you do your homework, it's totally different. So I wanted to say that because there's a guy named the Wall Street Trapper
yeah,
who, if you guys are not familiar with, um, he's somebody that I have a lot of respect for out of the Louisiana area, and he was a street guy, and once he got a hold of what was possible through the stock market, he's just changing the game. And to be honest with you, Paul, for somebody like you who is unusually willing to take risks, you could you could really do damage in the stock market or in just about any business arena. It's just
mhm,
that the the traditional gambling pathways are so heavily rigged, especially those that are computerized. You might
yeah,
have
yeah,
one,
yeah. That's
yeah, the computerized ones with the
yeah,
algorithms
yeah,
and
no.
and all these different sophisticated bots and everything working against you. It's very difficult with
That's why sports, live betting with sports is the one. Like I was like, there's no, and I can share more, but like easy ones. I know the national championship happened, but Super Bowl Sunday. I remember there was this guy. I don't know if y'all heard about it. I think somebody put like 17,000 on Seattle. before, which is cool. I knew
Yeah.
Seattle would be the team to go for it. Anyway. But there was two bets, and I was saying, man, if I knew to do with Seattle, this is what I would tell. I'm like, you can make. I can show you. I literally will show you how to make more money doing other bets than saying I'm gonna wait till the end of the game, where that's more control rather than what's happening first quarter, halftime, third quarter, fourth quarter, and then even with live bets, how this works. So a big win. I was like, I favor Seattle in general. But let's say at halftime, if you said, either I'm gonna take straight up Seattle money line, they were already plus like 250. So you put $100 down, you get 250. So imagine you putting $1,000 down, boom, that's a quick 2,500.
Mm.
I can enjoy myself for the rest of the Super Bowl. I don't care who wins and loses. I already got my money now. Like I look at it that way. I'm not trying to put attachment on the ending or whatever team. I'm putting my attachment to, do I think this is going to happen or this is going to happen? Another one, because this was the actual. I only did one bet for this year, uh, but it was Super Bowl Sunday. Where I told my friend, I'm like, "Nah, this is the one to go for." And I'm like, I've been humbled. Where I had to lose my job. I had to went from knowing where I'm making this to, I went without working. I went from having to work at Walmart to do 15 an hour, substitute 15 hour. I'm like, damn, I'm feeling every inch of the money that I'm like I was just easily just putting up, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, damn, I need every dollar now, So those are different lessons I had to get back to just respecting money.
Mm.
But what's my guy, Kenneth Walker, the running back? Seattle was up, and knowing in the second half you're gonna have to run the game, you're gonna have to run the ball. I think he had like it was either like 64 yards at halftime or something, or he needed to get over 74 or something. I know he went up with like 160 or something for the game, but it was like minus 110 for him to get over this certain amount of yards, and he got that within like the first 5 minutes of the third quarter, and like it's like minus 110, and I'm like, bro, he's gonna get this because they're gonna have to run the ball, and he's running, he's having a good game.
Mm.
You could have kept making this bet, and I showed him like once he got over this yard for like 83, then it's like okay, him to get over like 98 or 100, then you could do it again, and then it's like all right, well 115. He finished with like 174 yards. So
Mm.
from him running the ball, you keep doing live bet, and for him to say he's gonna get over this, so do you think he's going to get an extra 15 more yards? And it's the third quarter, so duh.
Right.
You got the rest of the third and the fourth. I'm like, those are bets I go in on. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm sorry. Like even for me to be like, no, I'm not risking. I'm like, this is literally free money. I much rather take this than rather than me betting on somebody having to cover a certain amount of points to lose or win, or even with like Michigan just won a national championship. So like even along that ride or journey, you got stuff for be like with the points to say is it gonna be over or under a certain amount. Like I'll take those calculated risks. That's what my probability line's at. Where I ain't gonna lie, like I thought this stuff through. Where I'm like, man, I could make the money like we could do at the stock market, but I'm like I'm still trusting somebody else making
Yeah.
decisions of how money is supposed to be, and I'm like, for us in general, just to be free, but specifically us as a black community, like we don't have some type of institution or economy that's like we can put our money in and we're going to see reward. Like we consistently put our money away in other things and trust other people to make advice for us in the sense of what we could do with our funds or what type of returns we could see. And that's what they do. They do all of the trading, like all the stuff behind Wall. It's trading.
Mm-hmm.
Like I see how other people utilize. They use
So,
trades. There's other forms of
so
gambling.
part of the reason why I like messing with people like you, Andre, is because
Yeah,
of what you just said. The idea is to create systems and institutions that would more lend itself to a legacy that we're seeking to create. Because
yeah.
yet again, the true gambling game can get messy. I'm gonna give you an example,
Oh
but
yeah.
then I ask a question. So, of course, everyone knows about the riveting loss that the Atlanta Falcons suffered in the Super Bowl some
Yeah.
years ago. Where, and I remember I'm still partially hoarse from being excited about what happened in the first
24-3.
half of that game.
Yeah.
And so a guy that I met, he said he happened to run into one of the players on that team in a popular Atlanta establishment. And he said to the player, "Man, what happened?" And the player's answer was, "Man, I didn't have anything to do with that."
Mm-hmm.
Now, what that answer suggests, what that answer suggests is that in the game of high stakes sports gambling, that sometimes there are phone calls that are made. So you
Yeah.
have the people at the ground level who are gambling, and then you got the institutional gamblers who make phone
Mm-hmm.
calls. And all of a sudden, what looked like a sure bet, because anybody that was watching that Falcons game, that was supposed to be a sure bet. That
Yeah.
that Falcons team had Julio Jones on it,
Yeah.
and that Falcons team was running over people. They were not supposed to lose, but clearly there was a phone call made. And so,
Mm-hmm.
what my question that I'm going to ask you, as someone that played two sports on a high level, do you
Mm-hmm.
feel that the accessibility to gambling that we have on sports today, do you feel that it's harming the sport because of that element? Because of that element, I mean, you've got players that have made the news recently, as
Yeah.
recently as the post baseball World Series. A couple of the key players got hemmed up because allegedly they were gambling. I think they were gambling on the, on the World Series.
Yeah. 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 It's, because you got all the attention and the eyes are on it. So yeah, no, it is. And because that's where most people eyes are on. Um, and I think also too, just especially just being an adult and having experience in just the real world. At some point, things just go through the mundane of things. So you got to get things to be exciting, or just to get different feelings and aspects on the line, the incentives or whatnot. Where I think that's just what the free market does, where it creates that incentive where you have those. I'm gonna play with danger. I'm gonna play with risk, or I'm gonna break the rules. Especially us as men, we got that, I guess, innately in us, um, where it's just there. And then knowing, like, understanding us, like, it's not like we have that institution or backing where, like I said, we got our own pot in the kettle. There ain't something we can truly say that, like, what we as black people own, that this thing is gonna keep, it's gonna stand still.
Right.
The white folks in Texas, they got all the oil junk. So you look at Texas, Texas Tech, and all these other schools. The money is there because they control that, they own it, and they're also exchanging money in hands with each other. So as one person falls, it's going to somebody else, but then they're able to feed the surrounding aspects. But let's say if Frank was the one who owned the junk, it's like, all right, even though your money gonna be gone, we're gonna be able to support you, but you might not get it all back. But those who surround you that was eating, they gonna still eat. Us, we don't got that. Us, we the people that is being fed. And you have just those royalties in play that comes across. Even when you look at every franchise owner, they own something where money is that they have an economy there. And that's how I was looking at what gambling opened me up to. I'm like, money's all about speed, and when you can make a decision,
Yeah.
you can take advantage of it. And gambling, I understand why it's always going on, because one, who's going to stop you, who's going to call you out, and then when you got the control of the masses or those who follow the quote unquote philosophy be, this is our motto, this is our mission, this is our aim, or these are our protocols, these are also our bylaws, where there's so much red tape and flags there, just knowing, yeah, this was only one decision that was made, and then somebody, or you could say gathering, adjusts to what this end goal is going to be, and we're going to manipulate or tell a vision of what is here. You got nothing else to do but buy into it, which is like, I don't know if y'all know about what's been going on too, where people been getting like red flags with the White House, where like the missiles that's being set and attacked at certain places. Like there was
They
gambling
gambling on
on
everything. Yeah.
that was going.
Yep.
Yes, there's gambling on was there going to be a ceasefire, and you have people to say at this certain time, and you have it like people were tracking it. You can see it on the platforms where it's like, yeah, this new account came in with $500,000 to make this call that was going to happen, and then next thing you know, Trump, hey, well, we got this happening, or there's this missile that just went down. Like we talk about my junk ain't nothing compared to, they literally have the control.
Yeah.
They own X, Y, and Z, and then who's gonna stop the reporter there? It ain't a reporter there. Then if so, all right, bet we gonna knock you out. We gonna take you out. And
Mm.
then it's like we can't do anything about the information. It's like now we're gonna put it under conspiracy. But who are we gonna necessarily talk to try to back this out of a corner? So like, I'll be real. It's going through this and with addiction and stuff. Like it had me challenging and fighting through. I'll be real with you. It had me fighting through some of the critical thinking or the landscapes we have when it comes down to if I'm doing something I can share how it could be demonic, or it's having me look at don't do this because this is gonna get you here, where it's just unexplored territory,
Mm.
and it's like for me to go about it, I'm only gonna pick what I know is most comfortable or what I know is the guaranteed thing, where it's just like, well, I know the one option is me working. Yes, I actually I love teaching. I love teaching math specifically. I love to be able to explain something, and the kids, I never thought about it this way. Or my teacher never taught it this way. Like I
Right.
love that immediately, where I'll always be a teacher there.
Mm.
But
Real
it's like
quick.
I gotta. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, we're kind of coming close to the end, but I did have a couple of
Oh, yeah.
questions. So,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
what was the biggest thing for you that like made you realize, okay, I got like, was it a specific bet that you placed and it was like, all right, that was my last one, or I gotta chill out, or was it just like overall you were seeing like a lifestyle that you was like, nah, I'm not trying to continue it this way.
I mean, be real, it was me not having any money left.
Okay.
Um, yeah. And as I'm like, as I'm just watching stuff, I'm looking at the decisions that I'm making. Where now this is where you get into the lines where it's like that narcissistic trait. Um, this also gets you the lines of like I'm in denial about some stuff because I was having it so easy. But like I said, I was like I just needed somebody to like pull me out of the matrix, or hey, mom, dad, I just had this like here. Like I know you don't like this, but it's $7,000 right here. Like just have it here, and I'll just start back up another time. Like I needed that, and I was like I didn't have somebody. I'm like let me just talk to. I'm like hey bro, like just hold on to this, or tell me to put this in this account. Tell me like close off the app for this day. Let me go
Right.
to the movies and just enjoy myself. Like let me start spending this on here. Go to the mall and buy this. Like I needed that. It's like I had some people there, but I'm just like you get into you just start overthinking about so much. So this is why I can say maybe where the demonic aspect comes in, where you in the I guess the devil's territory, where it's just like you're fighting different ideas that you don't know is there or not. You're making assumptions about. You can see how you could have some people who do want to have their hand out for things, and you either comply to it or not. But it's just like I didn't have that like soft place to just land,
Mm.
so I'm controlling the ship on my own, and it's like I'm finding people who are looking at me and they're not telling me because it's like hurt my feelings or whatnot, or they're just like, nah, bro, like, go get some help type stuff. Um, and even when I'm like sending text, where I'm just like, fuck, I just lost this, man. I need somebody help me with it. And I'm like catching myself doing that. I'm like, damn, I asked this person for this, I asked this person for that. I'm like, all right, I don't want to. like show people I'm off the rail, but I'm just like, I'm just thinking through all of this stuff.
Right.
Um, so like I just had to sit with it, and then eventually, just not having any funds, not being able to think, future aspect of what it is that I want to do. Like I got distracted there, so that also took me off. Um, I'll say God like just really had me sit with just my choices and decisions. Like, yeah, you touched $1 million. Crazy
Mm.
as it, I touched $1 million. But all that shit is at Hard Rock. Like, as much as I was like, I'm trying to find ways where I can be able to store and keep it, had the right idea, but I just wasn't disciplined with that stuff. Um, Also coming to the notion where it's like you can't, I guess, praise, two guys.
Mm.
Me looking at like my talents and to say like, dang, like I'm executing, but I'm not putting this towards the stuff I could be doing with teaching math or putting the
Right.
money into other things where I should have been brought my merchandise. I should have been done all of this stuff. But I was being frugal with it. Like, how is it that you will spend 7K on a bet, but you don't want to spend 250 to go to counseling or 350 to
Mm.
go here or
Bet on
like treat your
yourself,
own
man.
self.
Gotta bet on yourself.
Exactly. So I was literally doing it just to gain money, but I wasn't putting it on me at all. And I'm like, damn, like how is it that I'm literally looking for myself in other people where I'm like, man, I freaking willingly gave you just 700 for the sake of, and I'm like,
Mm.
man, I made that 700. Like, get it to
Yeah.
yourself. Go get that to mom and dad to go do this. Get out of them, and I'm like, I'm kind of angry. Like, I'm seeing all these different emotions that nobody else is causing. It's me, but I'm trying to find a way to just pour it out. But all the fingers I had to say was just the man in the mirror, and I'm just like fuck Paul. Yeah, we did that. Like that's
Sound
on
like
you.
easy come, easy go, man. That's what it sounds like. One last
Yeah.
question: Do you have? Would you say, or do you have any advice for people who are currently gambling? Like either ways to gamble responsibly or ways to quit it completely. Do you have any words for that?
Yeah. Take out a journal. Write. Like you're gonna be in these manic states. Write out everything.
Mm.
Write out even if it's like I feel like my dog, like he know I'm making money, but he plotting on me. Like write out all of that, and then also write out like what's the best way of me actually saving. Because the main thing for us is like even though you can touch all this, you want to be able to save so you can walk away. That's where you got the analogy of the house always wins.
Mm.
Um, Also too, if you know like any addiction, if you know you're gonna be tempted, see how long you could truly like just like go without it. Like test yourself to say, all right, I bet it today, and if I made this, do something intentionally where you can enjoy yourself to have outlets outside of let me go back to this channel, this energy, because that's what it is. I'm feeding off of it.
Mm.
Um, have those people that you know are in your best interest or you don't know where to place them at with your interest, but talk to them about these different things and see their responses to it. And even if you reject it or whatnot, just like sit with what it is that they're saying. Maybe write it down to see what they're saying. Put it in ChatGPT to see what they're saying. Because when you have that other perspective of like what's going on that you're just not you can't see because it's your tunnel vision, so you see what other people are seeing. You can start doing math off of that. Where it's like, okay, what's the common um, denominator that people are giving me about, Another one, learn how to love yourself with it. Because I wasn't loving myself at all. I'll admit, I wasn't loving myself. That was also escape. Like, all of this was escape. I
Mm.
didn't like me being conflict avoidant. I didn't like, I was in a great relationship and I chose gambling over it because I'm frustrated with certain things. I'm trying to move how I want to move, but I didn't have a plan of how to get things done. So I'm like, I gotta sit with that. Like regardless of me feeling like somebody else is doing this, I'm like at the end of the day, it's information that's being exchanged and received, and how I'm responding to it is what's creating the dismal. Um, so not making it as big as what it is, because you're literally stretching a rubber band that might not be what it is, but you're stretching it because you're being sneaky, you're being avoidant of some stuff that people are genuinely like loving you for, or saying like, hey, these are the causes or the damages of. But at the end of the day, we're human. We got our free will, so we're gonna do what we're gonna do. Um, and you explore it. Like I needed to go through this,
Right.
for me to learn. I needed to go through it where I'm like, I could say, hey, don't ever do this, or I can say like, nah, like do it, but
Be
get out.
responsible. Yeah.
You ain't got to be greedy to try to go for 5,000. Get the 250. Go out if you want to try it. All right, manage yourself, contain yourself to say, all right, I got this 250, but I got to make sure I got to pay this bill. I got to make sure I got to pay this, or I need to put this out to go buy and create my own merchant line. So go ahead and spend that 700 to design all of the stuff that you actually want, and then when you physically see it, you can be like, oh snap, yeah, let me go ahead and buy these more because this is what I actually want to do at the end of the day. So let me get what it is that I want. Um, because money at the end of the day it's just a resource. You're gonna learn too, like the way things would change you or change others that you might see. Like it's all the perception and perspective of things. Like we're all doing things to try to get somewhere. So it's like, all right, let me start also hanging out in these environments. Is it sustainable? That's a yes or no type thing. Um, but then we get to the reality of it where it's just like, dang, I'm in this debt. And then it's like, all right, I gotta go through bankruptcy. I'm not gonna be able to pay this junk off. And then I had to live with the weight of like, damn, I'm gonna have this effect. And then I went through the weight of yesterday actually going through my bankruptcy course. And I'm like, oh, this was
Hmm.
it. Like so like I'm living with the thing like, okay, I got this as a mark on me, but I don't have to have it be the thing that's waiting on me because I sat with that for a whole year. I'll be real. I sat with that where I'm like, I had so much shame over me. I wasn't open up to like talk. I didn't really talk to people. Um, I was I was in a huge shame. Like I ain't gonna front. I did have this little episode where like I even like attempted with like suicide. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but like writing out all of those things where you're saying you're conscious, you're seeing how you want to get yourself connected, or even how God could be speaking to you, but like we're our own body at the end of the day. There's no other Paul Jackson. Like I know the good of me, I know my shadow. And I'm like, I can't recreate something else. Like this is me. And I'm like, I can't try to force myself into anything, but I gotta be able to learn how to love myself. So it forced me to do that because I wasn't loving myself at all. I sat with stuff with me crying. I sat with me with thinking I'm the worst. I sat with me having some opportunities that I wanted and I didn't do anything with it. And I'm just like who am I? Like I sat where I wasn't in my body. I'm just like, what is all of this stuff? But it was just the weight of also me knowing I had like different perspectives or what expectations or carries that other people had. I had my own carries and expectations where I found myself like getting off of my own standard. Me feeling like a man that stands for goes for anything has nothing. Like however the line goes, but I saw
Don't
myself
stand for
with
anything. You
that.
fall for anything.
Correct. Yeah, and I'm like, I had all these different things where I lost myself, and then I had to just truly
Well,
hit rock bottom to just build myself up. Like it
well,
was.
I know that Dre has to push. First of all, PJ, too. I just want to thank you for being so candid and open.
Right.
And I already can tell that, like so many of our guests, you're definitely one that we need to have come back
For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, I'm
sooner
down, I'm
than
down.
For
later
sure.
because We didn't even get a chance to touch on some of the things that Dre wanted to address. That's very relevant right now with what's happening in the streets and so on and so forth. And we really didn't get a chance to let you talk about the company that you did start
No, yeah, yeah, it's fine.
after you made your comeback. And I see you got the shirt on,
Thanks.
so
Yeah,
we
I'm a
definitely
million one.
want to have you come back and talk about that that part of your journey. And and yeah, I just wanted to say this one last thing, and then I'll let Dre have the last word because I my teacher often says that so many of the celebrities and people that gets a lot of attention in the media, he's the one that is talking them down off of a ledge. And Deion Sanders famously shared that he's in this fancy car, six-figure price tag car, and he's thinking about hitting the gas over the ledge. And then one of the greatest left-handed hitters in the game, Darryl Strawberry, talked about being MVP candidate and feeling lost. So I say all of that to
Hmm.
say that whenever we are operating outside of our best self, we can find ourselves in that kind of bag. And in the space that I resonate in, I believe that we have an enemy to purpose. And once that enemy is able to attack our purpose and get us
Yeah,
off in another lane, then that's where we get dragged. And it doesn't matter. You can be making big money doing whatever it is that you're doing, but if it's not what was purpose for you to do, there's always going to be an emptiness. And so
yeah,
I really thank you for your transparency because there's people who are going to watch this and they're thinking they're good because their challenge is not gambling, but if they're not on their
mhm,
purpose, then they're a candidate to be dragged. We're all a candidate to be dragged if we're not constantly reaching for our purpose. You know. So with that said, Dre, I'm gonna let you close it out because I know you got to hop.
Yeah, man. Sorry we had to cut this one a little short. This one could have been a couple hours, man. I got a whole bunch of other questions I gotta ask you too, man. So definitely would love for you to come back on next time you're available.
let's
Especially to
do it. I'm
explain your
down.
company. I know we didn't have much time to explain that, but I think getting to know you as a person was, really great. And what a lot of people needed to hear. So definitely a setup for, a future episode. Um, so thank you for being so transparent and open with everything, because that's a lot of difficult things for people to admit for real, and sharing losses. A lot of people don't like to do that at all, man. So,
What? Where's that?
salute to you for doing that, man. But yeah, everyone
You're
who
welcome.
tuned in, oh yeah, you or yeah, send me over or send to Frank your like your information that you want to be posted on here. So I'll leave all your information in the description for
Oh yeah,
people to find you. If you want to tell them real
yeah. They
quick.
could go to also
Mhm.
too.
Hold on, you kind of breaking up.
Yeah, it'll be just like my shirt. You hear me good now?
Okay, yeah, you back, you back.
Okay, okay. It's mathrelation.com. That's the website where you'll find merchandise, bosses is what it is. I'm doing math. Of course, we'll get another episode, but like I make things relatable. I'm gonna have the stuff I was doing with gambling, even on there, to how to break down like positive and negative numbers, how to count that, slope. Knowing what it's like to be consistent with wins or losses and whatnot. Um, but the main thing, of course, is mental. Outside of that as well, my Instagram myself is the Mr. Jackson. You just put my whole name, Paul Jackson II, LinkedIn and whatnot as well. Yeah, man, I know guys working within us for a lot, so I'm excited about different things. Got to explore just different rooms, and I'm thankful to just just being real with myself and be real with anything. Where I'm like, if you want to change stuff, you gotta create your own table. You have
Mm,
to.
for sure.
So at the end of the day, even me doing it in ways that people can find, we all gotta find our way of what it is we're looking for. And I'm a person that's always going to take that gamble or that risk of betting on myself.
We gamble on
But
ourselves over
you
here,
learn,
man. Real talk.
yeah, man. You're gonna learn about yourself. You're gonna learn the flaws. You're gonna learn the parts of you that you run away from, that you hide from. Like I didn't realize how big I was with just conflict avoidance with certain things, or like stuff I want to avoid, but also things I'm like, nah, like here's the truth, like just listen to me or see it. But I'm like, I got to be the one to get out of that, like child Paul or young adult Paul, to be okay, man version of yourself. Um, where you got to make things happen. So those are a lot of the lessons that I learned away from it.
For sure, for sure. All right, man. Appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will catch you guys next time. Peace out.
Let's do it.